Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Alamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is healing from astral poison. And there are two things that led me to this. One is a viewer had a dream and asked for my advice on what she should do to protect herself. I'm going to say she based on the online name. I'm assuming it sounds like a very, well, it is a female name. So if that's not the correct pronoun, then please forgive me. I'm just going to go with how that name was traditionally used. So I will share a little bit. It was basically that she ate something in the dream. She ate an apple that was poisoned. And that was a few days ago that the comment was there. I don't remember if it said if she was force-fed or tricked into eating it. Something like, I'm not sure about the details. Sorry, please forgive me. But ideally, like basically the image that popped into my mind was to heal from that. Ideally, it would be great to have one of those ancient bladder water bags. I think they were usually made out of leather, possibly also made out of the actual bladder ages ago. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, kind of like water drop shaped, but kind of anyhow, and then siphoning the contents out, basically, right? So that would have represented the stomach, and then having a flexible hose, kind of like siphoning the car and siphoning that out. The gas of a car tank. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence properly. Now, I didn't have a chance to get one of those bladder type water bottles. First of all, because they would have been shipped and probably reached, or one of them would have probably reached me only in a few weeks, but also because they're quite expensive. And yeah, sometimes when too much time passes, it's kind of pointless. And the other thing is, we can always make do with other items. Now, hopefully I can suck out, like I won't be able to siphon it and let it run out, but I put applesauce in this cup to represent the apples. And I just cut an apple and put a piece here to represent a piece of poisonous apple. And by the way, with the whole apple thing, what came to me after I made the comment, and basically more now preparing for this, was sort of that whole idea of the evil stepmother in The Sleeping Beauty, right? Where she poisoned the apple and then tricked her stepdaughter into eating it. However, it was changed into just a really long sleep, right? So for many of us who have been astrally poisoned, a lot of times we know enough how to transmute it, even if it's just that our higher self knows it, that subconsciously we just do the right thing and we know, right? But also just that when we have a certain soul mission in this lifetime, nothing and no one can truly harm us to the point where we're destroyed, because they simply serve as learning lessons, right? So that was that story, and I will explain this one in a moment. But right around the same time, and I think all of that was about 3 days ago, on the same day that I saw that message, I went to the train tracks and smashed the bottle, which is that really short little video that I posted again 2 or 3 days ago. Because I think, well, it usually posts like the next day because I loaded up overnight. Anyhow, the next day after that, I woke up and let me show you. And I had 2 bites here and over here, and I couldn't even see that, but now I can see there are 3 bites here. But this whole part of the hand, so this whole area, which is like between 1/3 to half of my hand, my right hand, was completely swollen, and I had no idea how that could have been swollen. And I was thinking maybe I hit myself in my sleep or something, or it's something related to those bites. Because I couldn't see how many there were, but I could see that this area didn't have bites. That much I could see. But then also on the left hand, years and years ago, I wiped out with my rollerblades, and they actually missed this one. I cracked my rib and I broke that little bone here. And that's where it was bruised. So all of this was happening. And the memory I have of this injury is that, like, I wiped out because on the sidewalk, sometimes those concrete slabs are different levels. And I had turned around to check traffic to see if I can change, cross the street and go to the other side. And I fell flat on my front, on my chest, and it was like, I was wiped out for a bit there. And it was right in front of people's house. And they said, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And my initial reaction almost always is, yeah, I am okay. Even if I'm not, I don't know, that is one of those reflexes where, I mean, obviously I'm not dead. So in my mind, I guess, I feel I'm okay enough. But by the time I was able to actually get up, and it took me a few minutes to actually catch my breath and like sit up and then finally get up, those people were back in the house, door closed, and that was it. And I remember thinking, wow, they really did not care at all. That was such an empty question of, are you okay? Because that's what you say when someone hurts themselves right in front of you, right? So those are the kind of energies that we're dealing with, I feel. That's the message. But then also the swelling, I felt, was similar to an inflammation. So swollen, when we have swollen thoughts, I would say they're very much like inflamed thoughts, like overdone, like over the top, exaggerated, that kind of thing. And when I finished filming that clip where I smashed the black paint inside the jam jar against the wall, right at the end when I zoomed in there, I was thinking it looked kind of like a mosquito type creature, except like 2 parts were running down, so it almost looked like it had 2 sucking trunks. But I didn't mention it in the video. I just thought, it kind of looks like that, right? And I just kind of noticed it. And the next day when I woke up, at first I kind of had a panic, and I was like, oh my gosh, do I have bed bugs? And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wash all my stuff. And then I thought, okay, hold on. Wait 1 or 2 nights and see if you get more bites. Then yes, there are bed bugs. If not, then maybe I got bitten in that little green area in that park where the train tracks are. Even though I didn't touch anything, right? But who knows what happened there. So I haven't had any new bites, which means that whatever bit me was in that little park. And it was right after it must have been right around like when I smashed that bottle or jam jar. So that's very unusual because normally those energies then are gone, but these are such stubborn, persistent devil energies that just do not want to leave, and that always seem to find a way back in. And that's what I felt. It's like they injected toxins again. They injected toxicity, poison, emotional poison, energetic poison, astral poison back into my system, right? So that is quite parallel to the apple story, except in a different form. But both of us having received poison from one of those insanely toxic people, right? So that's why I felt, and this with the apple is a really good way to actually extract it. It's hard to actually create a big mosquito that I can smash. I'm still kind of thinking, like with clay, it would look a little awkward. But if anything like this happens again, maybe I will try that. Okay, so this is part one. So sucking out the toxins by sucking the applesauce out of the container. So this shall apply to any and all forms of astral poisoning in our system. So it could refer to that dream where in the stomach there would be that poisonous apple or pieces of it, as well as like sucking poison, including snake poison or whatever, out of our astral body, right? So it can still represent the same thing. Then two things I wanted to add is when you have poisoning, usually like in our physical realm here in 3D, if you have poisoning, usually it helps to eat a bit of charcoal, right, and swallow it, and it detoxifies whatever toxin. It neutralizes and clears out the toxin that you've ingested. So I'm gonna just eat a tiny bit of this, right, during the ceremony. And I have some dandelion tea here. Thistle tea is really good for detoxing too, but I only had dandelion right now. I finished my thistle tea. Yeah, I picked all that stuff, I think over a year ago. It must have been 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm just finally using up a lot of those. And then eventually I'm going to pick again. But yeah, so this is going to be very strong. And that's going to totally detoxify. And normally for dandelion tea, you would use the leaves. And if you want also the roots are actually even stronger. I do actually have some of the flower heads here as well, which you can also use for tea, but I would say that's more just regular tea, not so much detoxifying. But either way, I do want to break the walnut, because since all of that started happening, I've been in extreme lack energies. And like on the weekend, usually there's a lot of work and it's very busy. I wasn't getting enough. Like there were times when for 45 minutes to an hour, I had nothing, which is really unusual. And that only ever happens when I'm in extreme lack energies. I'm in a weird way lucky to be in a job where I have instant feedback in the abundance versus lack that I see that comes to me, right? And I feel very strongly that it has to do with this poisoning that is basically blocking and limiting and locking in the abundance, preventing it from coming in. So it's basically, even if there's abundance all around us, imagine us inside here, and this is the shell that they put around us through this poisoning so that the abundance cannot flow in. So I will smash that to break that wall around us, that restriction, that limitation open, and the abundance can start streaming in again. And I will eat it simply because I don't want to waste it, and I like walnuts, but also to help bring our pure core energy back in line within us, within ourselves. So if you have any walnuts, then please do the same. And if you have dandelion near you, you can pick some and make some tea. If you have access to charcoal from a bonfire or something like that, it has to come from untreated wood. Do not, please do not consume any charcoal that is store-bought. I wouldn't trust it. And again, you don't need much for this, but I've been to a sweat where in the sweat lodge they were actually it was after people were fasting, and they passed around charcoal and everybody had to like chew on it, and it was also to clean the teeth and the mouth, and then they said swallow it, it's good for you, you know. So again, it was small amounts. I wouldn't eat that whole thing. I would just eat like a little bit of it, right? But I think that's all the explanation for now. So let's smudge. I actually put it aside, yeah, over here, and then I'll call in our spirit guides. So please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies, and take away and transmute anything dark, evil, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine love light energy, into divine essence, and return it to the universe for reintegration. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations, and help us fully and completely reconnect with our own inner divinity, as well as that all around us, and through that be in oneness again. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Oops, sorry, I keep hitting the tripod. Okay. So, let's call in our spirit team. Dear divine higher power of the universe, our higher selves, our higher spirit guides of the light, our ancestors that are in the light, dear Mother Earth, powers of all four directions, powers of the east, powers of the south, powers of the west, powers of the north, powers of all four elements, air, earth, fire, and water, and all other benevolent powers, forces, spirits, and beings of the universe that are of the light, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. Let us first give thanks, massive amounts of thanks, for all the blessings in our lives, for all the guidance, help, assistance, for all the protection, for all the support from the people and resources around us, for having what we need come to us when we need it, and just for all the wonderful, caring people that we have in our lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let the ceremony be there for helping us heal from astral poisoning, from the toxicity that took hold of our body. And by that, I mean mainly the energy field and the emotional body. However, when that stuff really takes a hold, it can also manifest physically. And it can affect us in all aspects, right? And that, of course, includes more negative thinking and feeling, just being more in those devil energies again, feeling more aggressive or depressed or anything like that. Help us suck all this toxic, emotional, astral poison out of our body, mind, spirit, soul, energy field, emotional body, and any and all karmic aspects. I was just thinking if I should pull the straw out, but I think it's easier to do it like this. But either way, if any of you want to reenact this at home, if you have a flexible tube, kind of like a hose, then you can, and if it's liquid enough, you can siphon it and it's going to keep running out on its own, right? But the applesauce is not quite as liquid and I can't really bend it down and, create that effect. So I'll do it this way. Let all toxic poisons come out of the system. Oh. Let all poison that is within us come out. Let me see if I can do this without opening it. Okay, fairly. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'll clean out the rest. I'll wash it out after the ceremony, but this is good. So they're just like little traces left inside. And anything that was already absorbed by our system shall be healed, cleansed, cleared, and renewed, detoxified, neutralized, and excreted from our body. So first through the charcoal and then the dandelion tea. Okay, so the piece I just bit off is about this big, okay? It doesn't have to be exactly that size, but just to give you an idea, you don't have to eat the whole thing. But just keep in mind, a lot of this is really symbolic, right? So, and I'm going to wash it down with this. It's actually really dry in my mouth. It's interesting. It was so dry that I almost wanted to like choke or cough. But also, it's like I could barely talk. So, I feel like this is also an effect of that poison that, again, we're being prevented from speaking the truth. And it's almost like we're being choked. Hold on, I gotta drink more. With this dandelion tea, let our entire system, body, mind, spirit, soul, energy field, our emotional body, any and all astral and karmic aspects be cleansed, cleared, renewed, detoxified, and anything poisonous be neutralized and excreted and flushed out of our system. And this entire healing shall be applied to all aspects throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime and moving forward. And our entire lineages shall be cleansed, cleared, and healed from all this toxicity and any and all walls, blocks, shells, limitations, restrictions, imprisonment in the sense of being like caged. Yes, I did see a cage earlier too. Being held captive, imprisoned inside that wall that prevents the abundance from flowing in. All of that shall be broken and abundance shall now stream into our lives. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. All right. So I'll eat this. I'll just eat a little bit now, the rest after the ceremony. And I'll finish the tea as well. But I don't want to take up unnecessary time in the video. However, I do want to eat at least the bigger chunks here. And this shall give us renewed strength. Yeah. I feel that's really helping us become ourselves again. Be ourselves again. Sorry, correction. Thank you. So yeah, I feel like this is really strengthening me again right now. So I highly recommend that if you have walnuts, that you eat some as well. At least one, minimum. Wow. I call back all of our power to return to us, and we send all toxicity back to sender, to whoever sent it. If anything else gets sent, it shall be simply returned to sender, access denied, instant karma, love and light. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. That's it. All right, everyone. Let the ceremony now be finished. And let us give massive amounts of love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings to our divine team for all this help and assistance in this healing process. Let the ceremony now be... Oh, and see? Wow, this already blew out, which is fine because I'm ending the ceremony now anyway. Please open the circle of protection around us. Wait a minute. No, for a quick moment, it should be lit again because it was the dark that put it out when the wall around us was destroyed. So I'm going to blow it out after fully closing. All right. So please open the circle of protection around us, but keep us strongly safe, shielded, and protected. And put a massive 12D shield of protection all around us and fill any holes, cracks, and tears in our energy field. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations, all our relations. And so it is. Whew. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And I'm also sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. May the truth always be with you. Bye.